what?
What?
I
can't believe you just said that, Mephisto.
What? Cocked, blocked, and ready to rock. What are you talking about? It's a
military term.
God. It's a military term.
This is how it is. 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 Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
And now a word from our sponsor, Gary's Wholesale Sausage Emporium. Are retail hot dog prices making you crazy? Come on down to Gary's for all your discount dog needs. Was this really the best we could do?
Blue Apron passed.
Okay. Let's get vulnerable, Langley. Let's get sexy. First caller gets 11 feet of Gary's signature summer sausage.
That's right.
False advertisement.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You
I love
started talking about
we were cocked, blocked, and ready to rock. Holy shit!
Isn't cocked locked with an L instead of BL?
When you cock a weapon, you do that glitch. Right? It's ready to go. You put one in the chamber and you're ready to go.
I know that, but it wouldn't be locked. Cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Not locked, blocked.
Oh.
You know why?
You learn something new every day.
Because you normally say that when you're in training. And in training, you sometimes add an extra bit to your weapon in order for the stuff to not go out. Because if you're trying to use like demi rounds, you still need that extra thing on the top of your weapon, whatever weapon it is.
It's a C-clamp that has a hole in the center that goes over the muzzle, and then you screw it tight, and it blocks the barrel. That way you can fire blanks in your weapon, because if you try to fire blanks without it, it won't eject the shell.
It won't eject the shell or fragments of it, just in case of a Brandon Lee.
Wax and paper can be expelled out of the end of it. But the real reason it's there is to create the pressure that normally a round would cause, an actual bullet will cause, pushing gas back in there, causing the eject, and then jacking in the next shell. And that can only be done with these little clamps put on the end of your weapons, which I don't know. We use M16s? I don't know what you carried.
M16s,
same thing. All right.
Yeah.
So,
the A1s are the A1s are the A2s.
Did you have the 3-shot burst?
Yes.
That was the A2.
Oh, you could do that. You could do that on the A1.
On the selector switch, there's a selector switch that was created that got the name the A2 for a 3-shot burst.
Yes,
or
I know.
It sometimes show a graphic of 3 rounds, and
but
there are some illiterate motherfuckers in the military.
It was not allowed to use. As in, never use this, or else.
Special trained guys don't even fucking use it.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, no, we know how to do a 3-shot burst on our own. We don't need a pew 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 selection.
Yeah, and special forces don't even use M16s. They use the new weapon. I don't know what it's called. It's the one where the one when the ammo comes behind.
Oh, that's a
not in the middle.
That's a bullpup. The rear loading, and some of those are caseless, by the way. So there's no expelled shell. It's really weird. I've never fired one. Never fired one. I'm like, how does that fucking work?
I managed to fire one when I was doing reserves, like after I left the regular army. And it was like 2 shots. It was nothing.
So, but Joe's here too in the chat. Help PCM and friends. Have a great stream. Thanks, buddy. I hope your stream's coming out pretty good because, you know, you're getting older.
Jesus. Yeah. So are you, Gary, playing the Wednesday intro on the Friday?
I'm only as mold. I'm as mold as I want to be. Yeah, what's that Three Stooges line where she tells Curly, like, I grow on people. You said as mold. Oh my God. Anyway, Courtney's here, Penny's here, and Joe's Atmosphere. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a classic movie from the 80s. I'm so glad they took some things out of this film because it made it overly political. And Cusack destroyed his career, opening his big fucking mouth because he's got to talk. It's always got to be talking about politics. And his original rant at that table during the dinner scene when he's, you know, with her dad and family or friends or who
talking about what he does not want to do for a living.
It was his anti-Ronald Reagan rant that came from a Mephisto. Manifesto. Now say Mephisto and Manifesto.
You won't hear me ranting about anti-Reagan.
So the Mephisto Manifesto.
No, you won't see that either. Trust me.
Where he says, I don't want to produce anything or sell anything or make profit off of anything or profit off anything that is manufactured or produced. And it's just one of the weirdest speeches.
Process.
And he apparently process. And it's just like, that's him. That was taken from his personal manifesto. The director brought it in there. And it was a whole anti-Reagan thing. And there was an additional scene that was shot that brings Ronald Reagan into the conversation, again, with the dad going before the city, requesting to expand his nursing home. And he shows a picture of Ronald Reagan. I'm like, oh, I'm glad they took that out. And what's funny, ironic, is back in the 80s, first term, I wasn't a fan of Ronald Reagan. It's because of him my father got discontinued on his Social Security, and he had to go through some of the most painful tests to prove his disability, and they almost killed him. And I was so fucking angry at Reagan for that. I took it personal, but next thing you know, the first time I ever voted was his second term. I finally saw what he was doing, and I voted for Reagan.
You know, there's a great possibility that a lot of people that haven't voted for Trump are going to do that. And next term, they're going to definitely vote for JD because now they're hurting because when you rip the Band-Aid off or you like pick on a scab that you know has to come off and then you pick it off, it bleeds. And a lot of people are going to get hurt. And a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, regardless if they're taking whatever payoffs for 8 months.
This is going to be, we're going to see 6 months of roughness, but I think in 6 months we'll see benefits, at least in the prices of things going down within 6 months. But I'm telling you, you know, we have pulled a bandage off of something that's been festering.
Yeah, and if people say for about 20 years, no. We're talking like 60s level, not 60 years, but 60s, which is basically 60 years.
60 years. Yeah.
I did the math in my head, and it's 60 years. It's from the 60s,
which is exactly how old I am. So, you know, I didn't do it. Not guilty. So
my wife, coming back to this movie, my wife was like, we're in the car coming back home.
We're taking bets now that she doesn't exist because we've never seen her.
She's asleep. You can take bets but she's asleep in the other room. And I think she was. No, who knocked on my door during the James Bond thing? Oh no, that was my son. Anyway,
your son.
She asked me, well, what are you doing tonight? Well, I have to put in some stuff in the oven for tomorrow morning, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I was invited to do the show. And she said, okay, what are you talking? Who are you talking to? And I said, well, Gary and Anima and Martin. And she said, who are them?
Who are them?
And I said, the usual crew, I guess.
My
I told her
friends.
it's Pop Culture Minefields. They're friends of mine. Okay, what are you talking about? I said, well, I couldn't remember the name in Hebrew. It's like that movie with John Cusack with the boombox on top of the head. And she said, oh, that one. Okay. We don't remember what it was called. I forgot the name in English, and I saw it in the message that Anima put in the chat, the DM messaging. This whole movie, I've seen it at least 5 times in my life. I don't remember anything apart from that scene.
I got to tell you, I love this movie
in the name of the
because
actress.
Before I disliked John Cusack, what I liked about him was that because he learned kickboxing for this film from Benny the Jet. And by the way, the guy that kicks his ass that knocks him down, that's Don the Dragon Wilson in the movie. Great martial artist. And I've worked with Don, and I like him, and I'm friends with him and his brother. And really good people, man. Good fucking people. Anyway, he's the one who knocks him down. And Benny the Jet, I think Benny the Jet's in the movie. And Benny the Jet is just an incredible martial artist. And most people that know him from 2 fight scenes with Jackie Chan. And one of them is Wheels with Meals movie. Not Meals with on Wheels, but the other way around. It's really weird. And so it's got really one of the best fight scenes with Benny the Jet. And then he fought him again in another film, and I forget the name of it. And I think he's a cop in it. Jackie Chan is. And this time it's in a factory. And it's an even better fight scene. And Benny the Jet, people think they speed up some of the stuff he does in that fight scene with Jackie. And it's like, no, the kicks that's how fast he kicks. Because he's short. So his ability to get that leg up fast is so much easier than someone lanky like Cusack. So Cusack, when you see him throwing roundhouse and side kicks, they're not sloppy, but they're slowish as compared to someone like Benny the Jet. But Benny the Jet loved him and he continued training him. He's still close friends with him, and he's still practicing. In fact, he did an interview, Benny the Jet did, where he said he was probably one of the best kickers he knew was Cusack. But the single best was Tom, what's his name, played Bane.
Hardy.
Because
Tom Hardy.
He got heavy into jiu-jitsu. And he's a real practitioner. He goes into competition. And he actually took a belt home one day for that competition. And nobody knew who the hell he was at first because he had a beard out there on the floor, on the mats, fighting. And at the end of it, they're like, holy shit, that's him. And what's his name? Tom
Hardy.
Tom Hardy. And people are like, holy shit, that's Tom Hardy. Like, he just kicked my ass. Because he's really
Tom Hardy
very,
is
very good.
Tom Hardy is legit. Have you seen Warrior?
Yes. And that's where it all got started for him.
He got into it when he did that movie. But then he had a few roles where he had to do some fighting stuff. So he went to like MMA schools, and then it got the ball rolling. How he wasn't recognized with the beard, that's weird to me, because somebody
did recognize him, but it took a while. They kept going, what's so familiar about it? Because they kept looking at him going, I know him. And finally someone, oh my God, that's fucking Tom Hardy.
It just shows you that people that do jujitsu do not watch Peaky Blinders, because in Peaky Blinders, he had a thick beard and a very thick Cockney Jewish London accent, and it
Well,
was
that's what he was called the Jew. in
fucking
that,
great.
right?
Yeah, he played
That was his nickname, the Jew.
something Solomon. No, he was playing not only a Jew, an Orthodox Jew. And the whole point is, in Peaky Blinders, the main guys are gypsies in origin, and gypsies and Jews have a sort of a same fate because both are
Because of what happened with
dejected,
the Yazidis
very
and
small,
and
like
Soviet
very
Union. Yeah,
yeah.
because the communists and the Germans, the Ethel Mermans,
Yeah, they hated gypsies.
they hated
they
gypsies
hated-
and they
They hated gay people and they hated black people, both communists and national socialists.
Yep.
Which is basically the same thing. Yeah, so
basically.
it was a great role for him. I loved him as Solomon. I can't remember the
Yeah, he faked his death. Remember that?
yes. Now
That
it's
was
a
like
big
one of my
spoiler
favorite
for
parts. Like, oh, he's not dead.
because he was so popular they had to bring him back because he was not like physically menacing, but he was really
He was
menacing.
very menacing in what he could do, but he also had such a presence on the show, and he was a soft talker.
Yeah.
If you remember, he soft
Yeah.
talks on that show. But I'm a big fan of his work. I like Tom Hardy's work.
I didn't like him in
although
Mad
he
Max.
played Picard's clone. People
I
forget.
didn't like. It's a
I
bad
did.
movie. It's a bad
Oh,
movie.
it's okay. It's no worse than a Star Trek episode. It's just not a good movie. It's a good story. 'Cause I like the story.
Most of the Next Generation movies can be good episodes, or I'm not saying good, mid-level
Well, they did the same
episodes.
thing. They
except-
skipped. They did the positive to negative. Or not negative. I'm sorry. Any of the single, like 1, 3, 5s, not good. But the 2, 4, 6, good. And it ended up that curse followed them into the next gen films.
Let's just
And-
say Nemesis, which is the fourth one, it's terrible. And I think it's the only one I've seen not in the theater. I've seen Insurrection in the theater. I've seen
Yeah, I hated Insurrection.
I've seen First Contact in the theater, and I've seen Generations in the theater. Generations, I have to check which date it came out. I think I've seen Generations on the midnight showing, and I've seen a movie before that like at 10 p.m. It finished, and I ran to the next theater. It wasn't even the same theater. I had to run to a different theater, which was around the block, to watch Generations.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. I didn't like how it ended.
I didn't like Kirk dying. That's what I didn't like. But I enjoyed seeing Kirk being there and the whole opening scene. But at the same time, it's just not a great film. It's just not.
Nah.
But it
No.
has a great line in it, which is actually from an old poem, which is time is the fire in which man burns. Time is the school in which man learns. It's from a longer poem. And I like that they use that because it's a great statement about Soren and his thing with time. But the funny part is that time doesn't exist in the Nexus. So it's like, it's really strange. But anyway.
No, before we move on to the movie, one last
we're gonna
thing.
be back.
Years later, the line that I love the most in Generations has nothing to do with Star Trek, the lore, anything. It's Kirk dying, but knowing that he died way after Sulu, and he died, and he said, "Oh my!" I was like, "Take it, George, take it. I got you."
Oh my.
Oh my. And people completely forget. I rewatched it about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and he's like dying. He's like, oh my, and he dies. Like, oh shit, that's
He outlives Sulu.
really clever, really clever.
If it was done on purpose.
It's Shatner.
And
Of
what I
course
would
it
have,
was done on purpose.
it needed to feel, for me, it needed to feel more like Doc Holliday. Where Doc Holliday, because he really did, that really did happen, that he thought it was funny. As he was dying, he looked down and his feet were naked. He goes, ain't that a daisy?
Ain't that a daisy? Yeah.
So, but Das Wolfen will be on tonight, I guess. I think that's what we saw.
Yes.
He'll be doing his show tonight. So there you go, guys. Something to do this evening is hang out and watch John die on video games.
And miss all his targets.
And Gracie Films, by the way, should sound familiar because that's connected to Simpsons and a lot of other things. That's James L. Brooks' company. And a lot of people don't know that "say anything" actually comes from a line. It's used twice in the film, where the dad says, "You know you can say anything to me," and then she says, "And I know I can say anything to you." And it's used twice in the film.
The thing that is just so wrong is that he says that's like a two-way road. I hope you know you can say anything to me, and I say anything to you, and he doesn't. He's keeping things from her big time.
No, he lies to her, and just in the worst kind of way. Lies.
She
to
finds
her
out
daughter.
in the worst kind of way.
Now, Cusack didn't want to do this movie at first. He resisted because he'd already played high school age kids, and he did. And he said to him, he says, "I don't want to have to graduate from high school again." And but the director, Cameron Crowe, stayed on him, man, and stayed on him, and finally convinced him that he could let him rewrite some of his own dialogue to where he felt that it fit him. And that is what really convinced him to join the production. And the funny story is John Mahoney, who's best known as Frasier's dad on the show Frasier, is he actually fumbled the second audition. His first audition, he nailed it. And then he had to come back for a second audition with the director. And it went badly, and he knew it went badly. But they ran out to let him know that he got the part. And he goes, "Really? Even though I just really did a terrible job?" And they said, "Well, we told him how well you did on your first audition. So you've got the part." And of course, a lot of people don't know this. He was already prematurely gray. He colored his hair for a lot of stuff, including this film. I don't think he did in the early 90s with the brothers McMullen. I don't think he colored his hair for that one, which is not long after this movie. Have you ever seen that movie, Meth?
What?
The brothers
Which movie?
McMullen.
I don't think so.
It's a movie that came out in 95, and it was written and directed by the star Edward Burns. Edward Burns was one of those, like, I don't know, he was kind of talented, but he could only write that kind of romantic comedy that just, after a while, you can only, yeah, he's kind of a one-trick pony. But he got better known because he's in Saving Private Ryan. He's the guy with the Boston accent that's constantly giving everybody shit. He's, "Why don't you stop saluting the captain?"
Yeah, it's the guy with the BAR.
My response was, "Why don't you tell him to take those captain's bars off his helmets?" Yeah, yeah. And
I've seen.
Don't get me wrong.
I know I've seen the. I've seen the poster. I'm looking at it right now. I don't think I've seen the movie. I know Ed Burns. He's done plenty of stuff. But
Ed Burns and Michael
not a
Sloan
lead.
Work together several times.
He's not a lead actor. He's more of a like a character actor.
Actor. There you go.
And I think at a certain point he started to play only dads You know, I remember him from various things, but to bring up the specific project he was on, I don't know. I've seen his face many times. Now, people forget the name of this actress all the time, and it's spelled weird as well. Her name is Ione Skye.
Ione Skye. And,
Ione and Skye with an E.
17. Usually they cast people in their 20s to play high school kids. Back in the day they did. I think today it's even worse. She was 17 when she made this and rather new to the job.
Absolutely. And by the way, here's this. There you go. I see that Bush has joined us along with Bill. Bill wants to know if I'm still in a bad mood. You're fucking A right. I'm in a bad mood. I'm always in a bad mood.
We started watching Reacher though, and so far we like it. Because you asked about that.
Yeah, but I can't stand him. Alan Richardson burned a bridge with me when he talked shit about people that voted for Trump. Fuck him. Martin Anima, Gary, so Bill, she's here, and Bill Barkley. Well, we see, yeah. I said, Bill. Anybody else? Nope, I see it. We're all caught up. We're all caught up now. You hear? Oh, D-Bud's here too. Hi, D-Bud.
And he has
so I love that little thing there was he photobombs, gets her to walk to, he's walking towards her, has his sister holding the camera, and right as he's approaching where she's at, she points at her new car. And it looks like she's pointing it at him, and it's funny. I thought that was funny. I love that Joan Cusack's in this, playing his sister. And they really did treat it as a family thing because they came from a long family of Hollywood people. His dad was in the film industry. And Joan and the prettier sister were in a lot of the films. They all worked together. The last thing I really remember seeing the pretty sister in was, what was that show called? HBO From the Moon, or To the Moon and Back, or whatever that show was called. From the Earth to the Moon. That's what it was. From the Earth to the Moon, and she played one of the astronauts' wives on the show. The other sister, and they're all gifted. I think they're all good actors. It's just that Jesus Christ, John Cusack's a fucking asshole, and he's pissed off a lot of filmmakers.
Joan Cusack is a crazy bitch too.
I don't know what she's like in real life, but I know she's really kind of crazy on screen.
She is just as neurotic on screen and off screen.
Really? Not surprised to hear that.
Wow.
She was one of my favorite parts of the movie My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin.
I'm not sure she's political in any way, but she's like one of those crazy bitches in Hollywood. Yeah, take what you get, man.
You take what you get. Yeah, you get talent, and so often it goes with crazy. Richardson is brainwashed weirdo. Now, first of all, what I think going on with him is he's easy to manipulate because he has mental problems, potentially emotional, but definitely he has mental problems. He takes
he has
medication.
bipolar syndrome.
Yeah, and
Richardson?
Alan Richardson. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still not an excuse to be an asshole, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's no excuse for being an asshole.
I mean, the whole point with Richardson is sort of weird because you would expect like a Hollywood actor to act this way, but you don't expect like, oh, he's like a modeled father and he's been married for a long time to the same woman and she's not even in show business and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, so you've got a partner at your house to like ground you. Maybe he was doing like having an act for the press in order to get more jobs, but it seems like
it hurt his film. It hurt his film, the one he did with Henry Cavill, because he had that explosive incident took place while promoting that movie.
Okay.
The Ungentlemanly Warfare movie that he did.
It didn't do so well, not because of his PR.
I don't think it helped it. I think it did hurt it. because even less people wanted to go see it because he opened his fucking mouth. Now, this is I want to point out the relationship between these two is really good in the film. And you want to like Mahoney's character, the dad, in this film. And I empathize with him. And I also hated him at the same time because this movie echoes my own relationship with my first marriage and where I had my son, Benjamin, because she was from a well-to-do family and dad didn't like me. And we had words like that. My favorite one is when I walked into the garage to get him something, and as I'm looking at him, and he's pulling this engine apart on this MG that he had, a British Leyland car, and he says, "You want to help on this?" And I'm like, "I don't really want to fucking hang out with you." So I went, "Oh, I don't really know much about engine," which was a lie, because I could pull an engine apart, but I didn't want to do that. And he goes, "How can somebody your age not know how to work on a car?" And I looked at him, I says, "I don't know. How can someone your age not know how to draw a portrait and make it look exactly like the person?" I shrugged and I walked away from him because I got him, because he couldn't fucking do a portrait and save his fucking life, but I could. But I also knew how to pull cars apart. I used to do that for fun with my friends. So this, the dad is this, I don't know what to call him, he's not rich, I would put him at upper middle class kind of character. Wears the sweater vest, tie to work every day, because he is administrator of a nursing home, the owner and administrator of a nursing home. And unbeknownst to his daughter, who worships at his feet, thanks because he does a good job taking care of these people and really does care about them, that it excuses when they die that he steals the money from them. And it's absolutely, how can you claim to be a moral person and be like this? So anyway, I did identify with the Cusack character in this film because I was Cusack's character.
The thing that I like about the dad is he's very hands-on. He is there all the time and he deals with the old people. He feeds them, he cooks for them. He really does good things for them, but of course it does not justify taking their money.
And he thinks that it justifies that he's stolen a lot of this money to secure her future. And he thinks somehow that makes it okay.
He's not taking it for himself. It's all for her.
Yep. And she really was a pretty chick, but my God, her mouth is one of those downturned mouths, so she scowls a lot. She's always like downward, it's like, you can even see it right here. It looks like she's going to scowl. Gorgeous eyes, pretty nose. Does Gary know about the Doctor Who news? Yeah, I know about it, Bill. Ask me if I care. Yeah. I don't care what they do with Doctor Who anymore. I'm done.
It's dead.
I still have my Doctor Who, and I'm happy. I've got all the way back to the 60s to watch. She does. She's got some fangs.
Same reason I don't watch new Star Wars. I've got my original trio, and I've got it in the despecialized.
Yeah, I hate it when people say that the new stuff ruined the original. It's like, no, it doesn't. You still have it.
I mean, the only guy who ruined the original trilogy, it's George Lucas.
George Lucas kept fucking with things. By the way, I love the nephew doing the kicks with him here. It's so adorable.
Well, the way he treats his nephew is adorable. He's the fun uncle. Like when he holds him and pretends he's a guitar. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's definitely the cool fun uncle.
They used to do that a lot, to have these people who were like child actors or actresses or whatever, just in the shot and doing some funny shit with the main character. It's just a small bit, doesn't count, maybe no lines, maybe some lines, but you do get like a heartfelt moment like that suddenly in the middle of like a movie, which is technically like a romantic comedy, but without the comedy, I guess.
Yeah. Now this one, what's really kind of cool,
there is comedy in this.
He is such a nervous talker. That's part of the funny. him and his friends are funny in this. He's a nervous talker, and you can tell he's been rehearsing this in his head. And then he starts blathering, and that's like the funniest part is, I want to talk to this girl, and he asks her out, and that's the reason why is because she says it later, like, why him? Because he asked, and he made me laugh. And making a woman laugh counts a lot more than you realize.
It does.
Because you can take anybody that can take a stressful situation and make it funny, scores points in a relationship. I like the Clash shirt too. Yeah. This first conversation is great with the dad. Actually tells.
Wait. Was that phone number 555-1234?
Yeah. Yeah. People somewhere in the 90s, people started getting savvy to the 555 thing. So it started being written as jokes. And one of my favorite jokes with the 555 number, was on Family Guy, where you hear they're doing the Stand By Me episode, and then Roy Scheider shows up. And it's really Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss talking. And he goes, Richard, we haven't talked in a long time. We should maybe like give each other a call, hang out sometime. He goes, yeah, you can call me at 555. He goes, wait a minute. You just give me a 555 number? And he goes, yeah. He goes, look, Richard, if you don't want to hang out with me, you don't have to. And then he leaves. It's so fucking funny. It's a great gag.
All I know about the 555 thing is they gave a real number and somebody called it and it got to. It's something to do with Harrison Ford. There's a story with Harrison Ford and a phone number in a movie. And I don't remember what it was. Please correct me, guys, if you know in the chat. I know there was something with Harrison Ford and a phone number.
It's from the movie The Fugitive. I think that's
it is.
I think there's an incident with the phone number in that one. But 555 is actually used for information. Dial any area code followed by 555. And 1212 is that area code's information.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like if you dial, like I'm in 417 area code. If you dial 417-555-1212, you'll get information in this area.
Gary lives in this area. Stay away.
Yeah, that's really the first movie that went after the 555 thing. Right there. Last Action Hero.
Yeah, I know. And Bush even said it in the chat. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, don't you understand there's only 9,999 possibilities and LA's got 2 million people, which is funny because it's 1993 or 1994.
Yep. That movie came out 10 years too early. That would have been a hit 10 years later.
It was just too close to like True Lies.
So here you go. It's where's the flaw in Carrie? So he doesn't like the idea of her going out with this boy. He wants her focused on school and education. And there comes a point where he begins to manipulate her. That turns him into a bad guy. Despite wanting the best for his daughter, doesn't matter. It doesn't excuse bad behavior.
He stops caring what's the best for her, what she really wants, because she has this amazing place for an education in England, and he's so set on having her go there. But people change, especially when they're that young, and it's not the right thing for her anymore. It's not what she wants to do at this point, and he's completely ignoring that. And that's driving her away from him.
What a day, huh? I love this. He does not know how to talk. He's so uncomfortable in his own skin.
It's very John Cusack thing, right? In all of his roles, there's moments where he's like he can't talk or he fumbles or even in roles where like he's the main guy and he's supposed to be like this big thing. Even in Gross Point Blank or in 2012,
which is another film I plan to do because I fucking love that movie.
Gross Point Blank is so good. John Cusack doesn't ruin it.
Yeah,
it's so good. He doesn't ruin it by being in it.
Yeah, I would say there's like only really a handful of movies with him that I like. And
how about Con Air?
no, I don't like him in that. I like
Really?
the movie. I don't like him in it. No, I
It's
hate his
perfect
character.
casting for him, to be honest.
Captain Paradise. I don't remember that one.
Did he do the one where he's stuck in the room in a hotel?
Yeah. It's
like
called 1408. It's Stephen King's
1408. Yeah.
Sam Jackson. It was okay. I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't like it. My wife liked it.
I could pretty much go over like my favorite films with him. I like Say Anything. I actually liked Serendipity. It's a good romantic comedy. Love High Fidelity. I love Better Off Dead.
But isn't High Fidelity like a sort of an ensemble cast rather than just him? Or you like him in that movie?
Oh, it's his movie. He created that movie.
Oh,
that's
really?
his production. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I love that
Am I
film.
confusing it with Empire Records?
Yes, you're confused with Empire Records.
Yeah, I always do. I always do that.
I just really did like Better Off Dead is just like one of my favorites he did. One Crazy Summer is another one I enjoyed with him. And the movie The Sure Thing. And then pretty much after that, I don't really like most of his other films.
Ooh, have you seen The Ice Harvest?
Yes, I have.
It's a movie that I've never heard about. We covered it on a Christmas thing a couple of years back. Never heard about it. It's a sort of a dark comedy. It's him, it's Billy Bob Thornton, and oh man, the fat guy.
Oliver Platt.
See?
Randy
You know
Quaid.
exactly.
No, I know the film. I know the film. Harold Ramis directed it.
It's a pretty decent film. It's like a criminal dark comedy kind of a thing. It's pretty good. I was very pleasantly surprised. It's not up there in my top 100 movies of all time, but it's a pretty good movie.
Invincible. My problem is Invincible second season sucked. It had some great moments, but overall it sucked. And I'm not interested in watching season 3. I removed it from my watch list because I don't care where they're going. I loathe Seth Rogen. I loathe him as a human being. I think he is walking, speaking, breathing, shitting garbage. That's all he is. He's just a garbage person.
Well, tell us how you really feel, Gary.
That's Eric Stoltz, by the way. And Eric Stoltz wasn't a star yet. Eric Stoltz was working on this as the assistant to John Cusack in this movie. He's the guy that got drinks and shit for Cusack. And he was so talented that Crowe gave him a part in the film. And gave him one of the shittiest roles. He's the guy in the chicken suit that gets tackled by everybody.
Maybe they felt sorry for him for not actually getting the full part in Back to the Future.
Right. That'll teach you to get fired from Back to the Future. That's Jeremy Piven. And I don't care if he's best friends with Cusack in real life. I fucking love Jeremy Piven. I fucking love that guy. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a great actor.
But Jeremy Piven is so like, you know that Ari Gold is actually Jeremy Piven in real life.
Yes. I know he's kind of a scumbag from what I've heard.
Kind of I
don't care. I think he's great on film.
It's sort of that archetype that, you know, that stand-up comedian who's also a fuck up in real life, but he's so goddamn funny also in real life. You know, some people who are really like funny in real life, but when they get on stage, it's kind of right? But all the comedians love them because on the backstage, it makes everybody else laugh, right?
Right.
One of those people. That's
By the
Jeremy
way,
Piven.
Do you know who his famous mother is? And look at that nose, and it should tell you.
Lady Diana.
No.
I have no idea.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh,
That's his mother.
that's why I've never heard about this guy.
He's not really been in a lot.
You don't like her?
No, I just never knew she had a son.
No.
He's a great singer, and a very good actor. I don't think she's a great actor.
Yeah.
Well, that's
anything
just
to do
it.
with Barbara
Jeremy
Streisand.
Piven plays a version of himself, and he's just that likable. Now, there's another chick right there. I had a thing for her back in the 80s, and
I still do.
Tyler. She is such a good actor.
Who, Lily
She
Taylor?
really is.
Yes.
Yeah, Lily Taylor, man. She is something else.
She is
And you
really
don't
good.
recognize that. See the chick to the right?
Mm.
That's the voice of the main character from Rugrats.
Okay.
She's also an actor, but she does voice work.
Is she the one with
Rugrats
the
was
guitar?
never really
The one
my
you're
thing.
talking about?
I was a parent at the time, so it was a thing for me. It's a very it's got comedy in it, but this is a straightforward drama in many
Yes,
ways.
this
There's
is a
no
deep,
shtick.
This is a deep, profound movie. I think talk about it as a rom-com, it diminishes it. It robs it from.
Because it's
its-
not. And
You have
Pamela
very
Adlon,
real
by the
teenage
way.
drama in this.
Pamela Adlon is the one I was talking about. She's the voice of Chucky in the Rugrats. But right there is another lady. That's Bebe Neuwirth
Yeah.
from Frasier, Cheers, as well as Star Trek: The Next Generation. She was in one episode. She falls in love with Riker.
Yeah.
Even Riker falls in love with Riker.
We need to run
And she is-
another video, by the way.
He is the
Because
teacher
Sax is here.
who is way
Yes.
too close to her students. She is a teacher and guidance counselor showing up to a high school party.
hmm There's another theory about it, but well, that's for
There's
Reddit.
no theory. That's what's going on. You said Zax is here. What's up, Zax?
Yes, I have his video
I
ready.
don't see him listed. I do not see him listed in the
Well, he's here.
Mm.
Let me run his video.
what?
The fuck up, Kyle!
You want to play a video?
What are you
go
talking
ahead.
about? It is
Yeah,
listed twice.
Oh, now it is. He panicked. You panicked. You dicks. She's also,
See,
by
this
the
is-
way, the best dressed at this party.
The white dress?
Yeah,
Very
she's
elegant.
best dressed at that party. She's gorgeous in that dress. The Breakfast Club, Say Anything.
It's two totally different kind of movies.
They're not the same genre. I can't compare them. You
Yeah.
would have to find one in the same genre to compare it to. I can't compare them.
However,
Both
you know,
dramatic, though. I do think that Breakfast Club is highly underrated because I do like that film.
why do you think it's highly underrated? I always thought it was one of John Hughes's best works.
Yeah.
You did, but a lot of people don't talk about it as much as it should be talked about.
Because
I
it's,
think it's a great film.
Gary, you have to understand, we're old. There's a new crop of people. They've never seen The Breakfast Club. I told you
they
this
need
a
to.
long time ago. I've been in a dinner
Because
a
kids
couple of
today would
years
still
ago.
be able to identify with that movie.
Yeah. That's the whole point. I've been in a dinner where I was shocked that a dude, like he's a soldier. He was not only a soldier, he was like a deep doo-doo stuff soldier. He's never seen Die Hard before. Die Hard. He's never seen Lethal Weapon before. It's the new crop of people. All they watch is the new stuff. They don't go back. People who are not into movies don't watch the old stuff. When I grew up, I watched a lot of 70s movies, a lot of 60s movies. That's 20 years back. I haven't seen a lot of 50s movies. That's 30 years back. It's a new crop of people, and they don't look back 30 years ago. They just don't.
So the other thing is,
we finished the scene. I really wanted to talk about this because Nancy Wilson, who is Cameron Crowe's, I don't know if they're married now, but they were boyfriend and girlfriend back then. And Nancy Wilson, you know, from Heart, the band, rock band. And she helped write the chords for her songs and helped write the lyrics for him too. And Crowe said that they had enough to have put a full album out of just songs that she was going to sing at the party that night.
She learned to play the guitar for this.
Yeah, she learned to play.
And I think Joe Lies.
Joe Lies. This is my favorite right here.
That's
Joe
the one.
Lies.
They have 80 verses for that because they just kept making them up. If I remember correctly,
Joe lies when he cries.
Made the music. Because
that's great line though. Joe lies when he cries. Come on, I'm trying to say the fucking line. What a great fucking line. She's angry. There he is. The chicken. The guy dressed as a chicken, that's Eric Stoltz. And they all tackle him here. And so Cameron Crowe felt, I gave him his time on camera, so he had to pay a price. He got fucking beat up here.
Nancy Wilson was married to Cameron Crowe from 86 to 2010, and then they got a divorce.
Yeah, she discovered, you mean there are more dicks out there that I can have? Hell yeah. Oh, man. I went to her dad's retirement, by the way, from the U.S. Marine Corps. The Wilson sisters' father was a fucking brigadier general. And I was a +1 because my buddy Matt McGuire from the band Guar, he invited me as his +1. And because his dad was going, I got invited as family. So it's kind of cool. I got to go to his fucking retirement party. And you know who wasn't there? Nancy Wilson or her sister. I forget her sister's name, the brunette.
The actual singer of Heart.
Yeah, well, they're both singers, and they both sing.
Technically.
I think they both got great voice. At least they used to. In Dreams, what a great fucking song.
Ann Wilson.
Ann Wilson, yeah. I love this part where he jumps him because he really did this. This was not planned. You must chill. Because Piven did that without planning. He just jumped him. And they've been best friends for years. They went to high school together. Yeah. This is a movie about this girl who's had no social life at all meets the guy that's probably one of the most liked in school. Again, if you go and talk to anybody I went to high school with, even though I didn't consider myself popular, everybody knew me and everybody liked me, which is weird. Every clique. Oh yeah, that's where they find him. He'd been doing a Technicolor yawn. They got to take him home, and they're just driving around until he recognizes some places what they're. He doesn't remember where he lives. So by the time they find the place, it's daytime.
But his dad isn't angry. Her dad, because he knows she's safe with him. Cusack was very convincing when he told him that he can fight, he can defend her, he's not a drinker, and she's safe with him.
Absolutely. And yes, she plays his sister in the film. And she's been in a lot of his movies, especially ones where he had influence on the casting. And in fact, one of my favorites is she plays the receptionist for Cusack's character in Grosse Pointe Blank.
Yes.
And he goes, I want you to look under your desk. And she's like, oh my God, he put a bomb underneath my desk. He thinks he's going to kill her. It's so fucking funny.
Because she knows what he does.
Yes, for a living. He's a killer. But it's one of my favorite moments in the film. She's like, you're not going to kill me, are you? What? No.
I need to go back to it because if I remember correctly, he says no because I don't have a contractor on you or something. Nobody paid me to kill you. Something.
Yeah. And it's something that he tries to make it clear. He says, he basically tries to explain to this girl, Minnie Driver, plays his love interest in the story since high school. And he's like, the way I look at it is, everybody I killed did something that brought me to their door.
It's sort of that, it's like Dexter, right? Where I only kill bad people.
Yep. And I love it when she gets mad at him. She goes, you don't understand. You don't get me. And then storms off, and it's like, fuck, great romantic comedy, but really dramatic at parts. But then you got Dan Aykroyd fucking killing it as his competitor that's out to kill him. And he does that bing, bing, bop, popcorn. What the fuck is that? I actually had that as a clip on the show for a while, him doing the popcorn thing. That was fun.
Oh.
And Cusack, his comeback, he goes, get serious, get a job. Or get serious, get a life, basically what I said was his character in that film is this character all grown up. Because remember, he wanted to do the same thing, go in the military.
Yeah, kind of, because he's got martial arts. He knows how to take care of himself. He's pretty serious dude. But yeah, the thing is, John Cusack is a goofy looking guy, and he's a goofy acting guy. So
yeah, he's
kind of doesn't fit with the role he's trying to play. But yeah,
and he's such a fucking shithead about his movies. He'll even dog them when they're supposed to be out on the path marketing it. He'll say things about it. It's just he's such an asshole about his films, and he doesn't appreciate that. If not without that film, you wouldn't have had the career you got. But this is one film he doesn't dog. This is the one film I've never heard him say something derogatory about, ever. So I guess that means something. Hey, Sanders here, and my buddy Slasher Fred. Yeah, Bill, if you didn't catch it, Mephisto made a good joke about that a bit ago, about Back to the Future insults.
Yeah.
This is me. When he picks up this dictionary and you see all the dog-eared and tabulated pages, that was my fucking childhood. I had a 1947 Webster's Dictionary that weighed about 20 pounds. It was a huge fucking book. And my dad would make me learn a word every day. There was no day.
She would never put dog's ears in a book, Gary. She's marked a lot of words. Like almost everything is marked in this book.
And there's that Wurlitzer. God damn, that is a beautiful fucking jukebox right there. Wurlitzer made the best jukeboxes in history.
We had a kids' TV show named Wurlitzer when I was a kid in the 80s. That's how I know them.
The new Flash, I didn't see it, so I don't know. I don't know what they were talking about there.
That's him meeting her family on the second ever date. And the speech he gives about what he does not want to make money off in his future, he didn't have to act steaming. No, he didn't have to act nervous or anything because they had put it together so freshly that that's actually him fumbling his way through that speech.
And it was
Giving
from
exactly
his
the impression they
manifesto.
want.
As I said,
yeah.
that entire thing, the diatribe that he says, is from his personal manifesto that apparently Cameron read. Hey, Gory Tiger, what's up?
I love that name.
Yeah, I do too. That a new person? I don't remember seeing
Yes.
that name out.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to
I
the
hope you like
channel.
what we're doing.
The channel that loves to talk about movies.
D-Butt. That's weak. That is weak.
Yeah, I expect better from you, mister. But
So
yeah,
nobody-
we're the channel that talks about movies. Sometimes not the movie that we're supposed to be talking about, but we do talk about movies no matter what.
Well, it's
You get
partially my
Fesco
fault.
Me going. No, you and I are both that way, dude. We're both ADD, and we'll just go off on a tangent.
What do you mean ADD?
Oh,
Yeah, go into denial.
It's real close. It's right there. Like, it's about what, 500 miles away?
He's got squinty eyes. He's not even leading man material. But
He never was. He never was. But it works well in a romantic comedy, or in, if you really want to call this not a romantic comedy, it's fine. I'll take that. But it works.
He's perfect for this character.
Yeah, it's like if you want to bring up like a more modern romantic comedy, really, it's the Jay Baruchel role. He's not really lead man material, but they can cast him in a role like that, or the Sorcerer's Apprentice, or those kind of roles where you need a guy who's atypical to being a lead guy, because he has that transition from nothing to everything.
Now, by the way, another film he's in that I halfway like is Being John Malkovich. And it's because of John Malkovich that I like the film.
Yeah, I like that movie because of John Malkovich.
Cusack's character. I loved Malkovich in it. Now, he acts like, how dare you show up at my home? And he goes, well, you keep skipping us, man. And you give us no choice. We got to come to your fucking house.
Even when you have guests, screw that. We need to talk about this now.
Yes, sir, Sandra.
Yes,
that is the film.
And it
She has
almost
smoky
didn't
eyes.
get that song.
Well, it's kind of funny because, basically they requested the rights because it was on his wedding music. It was one of the songs from his wedding. And he went through that list and he saw that song and he goes, yeah, let's try. So he writes Gabriel a letter.
They sent him the movie.
Sent him a videotape of what they had shot of the film so far, including that scene. And he says, we'd really like to use it for the thing. And then finally one day he gets this phone call and he has this very soft-spoken Peter Gabriel on there. And he goes, I regret to inform you that I can't give you the song for your film. And he goes, but why? And he says, well, and then Gabriel starts talking about this other movie with John Belushi in it. And he's like, wait, no, that's not our movie. No, ours is this one. And he explains it. And then he finds out what it is and looks at it. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you can have my song. But he said no to him at first. And if Cameron hadn't asked him why, that would have been the end of it.
He almost didn't. But he mustered the courage to ask, and Peter Gabriel was still on the line, so they could clear up the fuck up that happened.
Because most people just back off and go, oh, okay. I'm sorry I bothered you. Sorry I took up your time. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, yeah, he's in the trailer.
I lost you.
Malkovich is in the trailer.
What, Fantastic Four? Yeah.
He's got that guy that's not Reed Richards playing Reed Richards. It's really, really weird.
One of my favorite John Malkovich roles was actually Red.
Yes.
Yes, which was his character's kind of an offshoot of the same character that he played in Burn After Reading.
Burn After
Which-
Reading, yeah, kind of.
You know, I don't think it's that great a film. I really don't. But it has one of the greatest moments in cinema history when Brad is in the closet and Clooney opens the closet door and he goes, ha, ha, he caught me. I'm in your closet. And Clooney's character freaks out, lifts the gun and shoots him in the face,
Yeah.
killing him. And it's fucking hysterical.
And
and
in that
horrifying.
moment, you knew you were watching a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, that's a Coen's moment right there.
Back to the
I mean-
movie. He is so awesome with these old people. He's fish out
that's
of
it.
water, never done this before, and he is just perfect with them. I mean, the first lady who sees him goes, "You're too tall." That's not a nice welcome, but he still goes to show them movies. They love him. He's so committed in this relationship. And he's showing her a world that she hasn't known before because she's never been to a party and she wasn't even weirded out or anything. She had fun. She met people she would have never met if she hadn't gone there. She's having the night of her life. And this is where her perspective changes. And it's not about going to England anymore. She's discovering a whole different side of life and likes it. And her dad just doesn't understand.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel's done a lot of music for soundtracks, but he actually did the soundtrack for Birdie, which I just saw somebody brought up in the chat. And he also did the soundtrack for Rabbit Proof Fence back in 2002, I think it was. He's done a lot of music. It's been used in soundtracks, and that's really what was going on here. Is the director wanted to use his song. And so they wrote and approached him about it, and he misunderstood. He thought it was for another film.
Well, he got slammed with movies where people wanted his music. So
Oh, yeah.
there was a lot
Well,
on
if
it.
you
He
look
just mixed
at
it
the
up.
mid 80s, look how much stuff they used of his in the 80s. But and he misunderstood and thought it was a Belushi film that was, still in the editing phase. Because it was around the time that he died. They started working in this film, I think, in 85, 86. But I don't think they shot it until 86.
Belushi was dead in 81, wasn't he?
I know, but they're still working on stuff of his. But that's what he said. I'm just telling you, that's what he said on the phone
Maybe
call.
he meant-
I've yet to figure out what movie he's talking about.
Maybe he meant Jim Belushi?
That might be it.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I know what movie it
I wouldn't
was.
confuse those two, but
Oh,
be.
I know what it was. K9. What year did that come out?
K9? Wow. Yeah,
That came
87.
out- Yeah, see, that's right in the window. And they had a lot of music in that movie, including the song Aiko Aiko Ione. I bet
K9. Oh,
that
you
was
mean
the
the
movie?
You mean the same movie that was with Tom Hanks
Yes,
called
Hooch.
Turner and Hooch? Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
that was the
not.
remake. That was the
It's
remake.
not really. It was the same movie, essentially the same movie.
I know it's a remake. It's a remake of the movie. It was made later, so it's a remake. If they came out the same year, it'd be different.
Yeah. It's
But-
one of those movies like Armageddon and Deep Impact. It's essentially the same movie.
Yeah.
It's different characters, different arcs, but essentially, yeah.
Now he kept wanting people to spritz him for this scene, and Anima's right, man. It makes him look really fucking sick.
He
Like
looks
he's
so
dying.
sick. And actually, when they showed it to an audience for the first time, everybody thought he was sick and dying. So they had to tone it down because he was overdoing it. And yes, Bill, I saw your question, and she does not care about movies. She's usually asleep in my lap.
She only
Yeah,
cares
there's some
about
cats
food.
like my cat.
Yeah.
My cat Miko, she would watch TV with us, and one of her favorite things when we play video games, and she would you could get her going at the screen if you got a character moving certain ways, and she'd go after the TV like batting at it.
Yes.
Well, when my
Like
cats
Star
were
Wars.
babies, they
What
would
was
go
the
for
Star
that.
Wars one where Star Killer has to go out and fight Darth Vader the first time? That was the one that she kept going after Darth Vader's lightsaber.
The Force Unleashed.
Yeah, she kept going after my cat kept going after Darth Vader's lightsaber. It's funny.
Amelia
That's all
always
he did.
tries.
That's all he did in that film is he did the soundtrack, Sans words. The song "The Fire and the Heat" is the only one that has really any vocals to it because it has no lyrics in it. Yeah, I never watched it, but I heard other people say it was good. That was better than some of its parts, but I could care less. Yeah, and again, I want to point out, I said it in the chat. I didn't say it on the show, that you actually have two members of the Cheers and Frasier cast. People don't know that John Mahoney was in Cheers.
John Mahoney was in Frasier.
No, he was also in Cheers. He appeared one show.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I've probably seen every single episode of Cheers, but that was a long time ago. A long time
Yeah.
ago.
Now, BB Newirth played the same character from Cheers all the way through to even the new Frasier, because Frasier ends up sleeping with her again in the latest series, which cracked me up. I thought that was funny. Because his son walks in and goes, "What are you doing on my bed?"
There's also an episode where she sleeps with him in Frasier. She comes back. It's the first episode where she's cameoing, and they have a fling, and then he remembers why he hates her.
Yeah, now I remember why we broke up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be reminded. Yeah, been there on that. I never make that mistake. I'm looking it up right now to see if I can find it. Here we go. He plays Cy Flembeck in one episode. It was "Do Not Forsake Me, Oh My Postman" from 1992, season 11, episode 5. And that's when he made his appearance on that show, while also simultaneously being cast already on Frasier. Now this scene, whenever they're around the guitars with Lily and her friends, always reminds me of that Some Kind of Wonderful film, which I like that film. I hated 16 Candles. And basically he went and remade it as Some Kind of Wonderful, so it ended correctly, because he didn't like the way the original film ended. It wasn't what he wanted, and he got to end it that way with Some Kind of Wonderful, which I think is a better film.
When I was younger,
and just a bad little kid, your mama
yeah,
funny
I actually couldn't differentiate between Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles.
See, I don't know if it's Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles, which one it is. It's the one where
one of them is Ed Burns, I think. One of them is the younger dude from Breakfast Club holding her panties up as a trophy because they made a deal so he could hold her panties in front of his geeky friends.
Yeah.
One of them it's in either Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles. I don't know which one it was. They're basically the same movie.
It's the one with John Cryer is the one I'm referring to.
Okay. Because both of them had...
Yeah, it's Pretty in Pink is the one I meant, not 16 Candles. Yeah. Pretty in Pink is the one where originally John Cryer's character was supposed to get Molly Ringwald's character, but she didn't like that, and her agent didn't like that, so they pushed to have her get the good-looking kid.
So in 16 Candles
Pryor-
is Anthony Michael Hall, which is the young kid from the Breakfast Club, and at the end he holds up her panties because they made a deal. I don't remember what the deal was, but she made a deal with him, so he can tell that he
So
scored
here he
with
is.
her.
Now this is where he has begun to do the subversive shit.
Yeah.
To begin underselling a boyfriend. And he is absolutely downright dirtily fucking trying to subvert their relationship. Sever all relations with the boy. Let him know you still care. Give him this pen, a pen. I would never give him a pen. And then she gives him the pen. You know, and here he is being emotionally manipulative with her. Yeah, I never really wanted to watch it because I listened to a lot of the friends and family that said he got it wrong in his book. What's his name? Bernstein, the reporter. I liked Warehouse 13. Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall, I've followed his career, and he went from geek to heartthrob and when he started doing the movies in the 90s. And then he became star of the television version of the guy who dies and he's able to see shit. Oh, this is a great scene. He's talking about Don the Dragon Wilson. And Don the Dragon Wilson is the guy that he was sparring with in the movie. Yeah, and this is where she's like, we can still, I want you to write me. It's not her speaking, it's her dad.
Yeah, but the dad makes her feel like this is the right thing to do, so she has to do it, even though everything in her says no.
Get Out. I'm trying to remember what movie that is.
The movie.
It's
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. Yeah.
Well, Jordan Peele is a terrible director. He was good with those little short vignette comical pieces. Really, I think he did one thing I liked.
And it's probably Get Out.
No,
it's
it's
the better
Get
of,
Out.
It's the better of his films. Get Out is sort of like Look Who's Coming to Dinner, but it's much more sinister.
Yeah, with horror.
It's the one with the alien up in the sky.
Oh, Nope.
I liked.
Nope.
Was that it? Nope.
Yep.
You like Nope?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a very simple story. It was not what everybody expected. They thought it was going to be an invasion thing. And it's not. It's just this creature living up in the clouds, eating people.
Well, Bill liked it too.
You make that sound so normal, Gary.
Well, it wasn't an alien invasion. Everybody kept thinking it was aliens, and it wasn't. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole story at the beginning with the chimpanzee. That was weird.
I hate when movies don't do well because people expected something different and then they don't even give it a chance. That's just sad.
Oh, you mean like Shawshank Redemption?
Never saw it.
Yeah, people did not.
Whoa.
give it to- she'll see it. Don't worry. She's not seen a lot of great films.
She
That's
was
number one.
she was
You
busy
keep
playing
forgetting.
real music.
Yeah, I grew up in a music household, classical musicians, both parents, as were we kids. So TV was really something very rare. My dad started showing me James Bond movies when I was 15. I was 16. We started having our movie nights. And it
That's
was
the
usually
only
James
film
Bond
we did,
or
though.
films with Walter Matthau. So yeah, until in my early 20s, I didn't really have access to TV or go to movie theaters.
My
And then
God, Sander.
I was
Sander,
too busy
no.
to work 3
No,
jobs. So
Sander. No. No, put that back
I'm
up
a
there.
new-
No.
I'm a new nerd.
No. Bad Sander.
That's
No, he ate everybody.
he wasn't a picky eater.
Well, I'm not letting this go. Bad Sander.
I'm trying, Sander. I'm trying.
Sander, you're huffing too much copium there, dude.
What are you? You're the knights who say
Says
knee,
knee.
knee.
Enema, in a way, I'm kind of jealous. Kind of.
She gets to see it for the first time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it. You have no idea how fun it is to lay back and watch someone watch a movie that you really love, no matter if they love it or not.
Well, that's kind of my part on this show is that most of the stuff we discuss is the first watch for me. So I have a different perspective than the other guys who are super nerds about the movies. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen it once. But yeah,
So
I
here
keep
he is.
hearing
He's calling his sister because she won't take his calls. And I don't know. You rarely, get to experience something like that in your life where you really like somebody and then you get cut off from them. And it is just emotionally devastating, especially when you're young and you don't have a lot of experience.
and he can
So-
tell she doesn't mean it. It's not what she really wants. He knows that. By the way, the scene we just glossed over when he's on the couch with the kid and the kid is asleep and one of his legs keeps falling off of the sofa. I was wondering, was that kid really asleep? Because that shot took so long. That looked so real.
Probably.
Hey, his like note to self. He's got a little recorder that he talks into.
I've never seen Ours, Bill, so I don't have an opinion on that.
Well, I like that show. I don't care what everybody says about it. I do like the show Alf, and I do like my cats. I don't see.
I think Mexican Iron Man is the only person you rate.
he
The
hates
passion.
it.
Mikey
Very
hates
vivid.
Alf.
I love it. Like
Yeah.
the guy that Lily Taylor is like having problems with is in this group of guys he's hanging out with. We choose not to be with someone tonight. Why should I take advice from you? You guys are here tonight all by yourself.
Oh,
We choose.
you seen the one from left to right? He was in The Rock.
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah.
Fry.
Yeah. Yep. He often plays country bumpkin type characters.
He's not only in the group of friends that she's hanging out with, they never really
Oh, look who's
properly
here.
separated. She has all the feelings for him and keeps making these songs and sending him tapes, and he's holding on to the tapes because one day she might be famous, and they're both they want to be back together. Typical
I did
teenage
not
drama.
know that it was considered a spinoff. 'Cause I like
They
both
cross
shows.
over. There's a crossover episode, at least one.
I love Eureka, and the reason I abandoned Sci-Fi Channel is because they canceled it.
I
And it
hate
was a
when
mistake. They fucked up. They fucked up. They knew they fucked up, and it was too late. They couldn't do anything about it.
I
And-
love Eureka, but when they do the timeline switch where the kid isn't autistic anymore and then all the shit is different, They kind of lost me. It wasn't the same show
I watched
anymore.
it because I liked the guy Ferguson that starred in it, and I
Yeah.
liked his daughter. His daughter's name was Zoe, so I thought that was cool.
Well, I watched it because I had to defend my title as trivia queen on the Salty Nerd podcast.
Yes,
They
yes,
nailed it.
and, that is Jeremy Piven. Jeremy Piven and Cusack have been friends since they were kids, and went to school together. And he's pretty much in a lot of films with Cusack in it, where he's the lead.
Hey, look who's here. The diva.
Tim.
Hi, did you hear me? Okay.
Okay, here we go.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Great. I said her name and now the gremlin is awake. You made me do that, Tim.
Oh.
Be a man, don't be a guy. Don't open any programs during the show. I'm stopping.
Yeah, again, guys. No
It
social
fucked
media
up the
during the
show.
show.
I won't do it anymore. It is messing with the show too much. I'll check it out later, though, Tim. I'm sure it'll be funny. He's in him and Andy.
What are you opening up? X?
No, it's seriously.
Anything.
I'm having a problem with my bandwidth right now, and if I open anything, I might even get kicked from the studio.
It happened. So if you have stuff that you want us to show on the show, send it to Martine or to me.
Yep.
We'll get
Or
it
to
going.
me?
Well, if you're there.
Well, I'm here.
There you go, Tim. Send it to
Wait a
one of
minute.
them.
Wait a minute. So, Open Anything is the sequel to Say Anything?
Oh.
Oh, I already sent that to her. I sent that to her.
I didn't know that about Bones because
I didn't
watched
like.
that.
I didn't like Sleepy Hollow. I missed the joke I was reading.
Because the fact that you didn't get a joke is killing Mephisto.
I didn't get it because I didn't hear it. I was reading.
I said, is Opening Anything the sequel to Say Anything?
Oh, yeah. That's not getting a laugh.
You're laughing, aren't you?
I'm laughing because of how dumb it was.
Yeah, try to make it funny the next time.
Much like Mark Hamill had trouble with his bandwidth during the BAFTAs. Jesus Christ, dude. At first I thought it was a skit. His fucking pants fell down.
I didn't know what was going on. He panicked all of a sudden. I'm like, what's happening? And then I look in the comments and somebody says he drops his pants and has catched them and pulled them back up. And I'm like, oh God.
You know what I wrote on? I commented on that one. I wrote it on Twitter or X or whatever. I said, man, his house is burning down. And also his house in Malibu burned down. So think about it.
Oh, yeah. So he's like, he's checked out.
Yeah. He is so out of there.
I'm lucky I have underwear.
That could have been hilarious
Oh,
if he had tidy whities. Oh,
Well,
that would have
somebody-
been great.
Who was it? Was it Tom that gave him rainbow underwear?
I don't know.
I think that was it, wasn't it, Martin?
no,
I
I don't
don't
know. I don't know either.
This is the scene with the boombox, by the way. And they didn't film it together because this part where he is holding
This was the
up
very
thing,
last thing they shot.
This was filmed in a park opposite a 7-Eleven or some store like that. And she shot on a different occasion, her scenes in bed, and to a different song that she doesn't remember. She said in an interview. So they pieced that together. But I'm so glad they got Peter Gabriel's song because it's a perfect love song.
Cusack fought him. on holding up the boombox, and he says, "Do it both ways, but do a cut because I'm telling you, it works." And Cusack was wrong. It absolutely worked.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
And that was the
thing
original
is-
cut of the song. Later, he would re-release the album and took one of the greatest lines out of the song, which is the whole line about something about searches, and you are the doorway to 1,000 churches. And they took it
Why
out.
did he take that out?
Because his whole anti-Catholic, anti-Christian thing.
What does church
Stupid.
has to do with Catholic?
You got
anything?
me. And ironically, the song is also about the same woman that the song Rosanna was about.
That I
Rosanna.
know. I did my classes about Peter Gabriel with you. I love that guy. And in case you didn't know, I share a last name with him.
More
That's
like
right.
his wee Willie Winky.
It would have
Another
been
great
lower.
actor right here. Another great actor. He did a film with Wes Anderson in the 90s that I love. Man, John C. Reilly's in it too.
Didn't he have a great career when he was just old? Right?
Hold on. No, it's not Wes Anderson. It's the director that did Dirk Diggler. What was that movie called?
Boogie Nights?
Thank you. Paul Thomas Anderson. And the film he did was about a casino story. Hard 8. Oh my God, that movie is good. It's got Philip Baker Hall is the old guy there, John C. Reilly, Sam Jackson, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Philip Seymour Hoffman. Great fucking movie. And this is where she's finding out shit.
Yep.
She's hesitating at first to look into that box, but then she doesn't.
He
It's full of
refuses to believe it. But then she goes in there and starts finding these things.
money. She has to know.
And there's where she finds in the box that he was
And
so
I think she's
protective
not
earlier.
completely
What's in the
surprised.
box?
Fucking money.
A lot of money.
And there she is sneering, which looks so natural on her because of her mouth. You sure gotten better at driving.
The driving lessons are so cute.
And he lies right to her face, and she goes, "I've seen it." You know, he had a chance to come out honest with her. And that's what breaks her heart.
Well, her whole life she has been believing that her dad is this great guy who takes care of old people, and then she has to find out something like this. That's horrible. I mean, imagine going through this as a teenager. You're like, what else is a lie? You don't believe in anything anymore.
Yeah, it's like you begin to question everything. When you're with someone who's almost made a profession of fucking lying to you, you begin to question everything. And I'm speaking from experience.
Did they put him in that outfit and that hairdo to make him look like he's like a 50s dad?
Kind of.
I'm wondering.
And they also colored his hair because he's
yeah.
actually gray at this time.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because in falling down, the entire getup that Michael Douglas is wearing and his haircut does try to reflect 50s working man in an office kind of a guy.
Absolutely.
And it was done deliberately and on purpose. So I'm wondering, just looking at it right now, just spitballing, right? Did they want him to look like like a guy that was in the 50s and he's trying to deal with an 80s daughter? I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
See, this was done right around the same time that he starred in Frantic with Harrison Ford, and he was absolutely silver-haired in that film.
Yeah.
When his
That's
friend
it.
knocks
This
him
is the
out here,
scene
that
here.
looks so fucking real. He sends him flying because he doesn't pay attention for a moment. Breaks his
I'm
nose.
going back to it because this is when Don the Dragon Wilson knocks him to the floor.
Kicks the shit out of him.
So it's supposed to be Taekwondo
It's a mixture of styles.
because there's a South Korean flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but
By the way, this dojo was used in Karate Kid too. In case anyone thinks it looks familiar.
It's also in the Bollywood version, the Karachi Kid.
my God.
Don't go.
You know
look
what
at
I've
that
seen?
movie.
You know what I've
Never
seen
find
the
it,
other
I
day?
made it up.
Have you seen the movie Chef with Jon Favreau?
Fucking love that movie, dude.
I love that movie so much. They
Ditto.
made a Indian version of that movie called The Chef. I've seen it the other day. It is almost 1-to-1, and the guy
Have a
who's
dance.
clearly Indian, he is Chef Casper. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Did they have a dance in it?
No, they didn't.
Wow.
An Indian movie without dancing? What's wrong?
Yeah. It's I don't know what it was. I wanted to say, because there's Bollywood and there's like another Bollywood. One of them has the dancing and stuff. One of them does not. So they have basically two Hollywood industries there. One of them is clearly the smaller of the two, but it's not really independent. And they make a lot of these movies where it's kind of a copycat of other Hollywood movies that you've seen, but not really. Not Kashmir. Kashmir Kid.
I once had a cashmere jacket. No, but Karachi just sounds funny.
Karachi Kid, yeah.
Where's that set? In Mexico?
No, Karachi is in Pakistan.
Ending of the movie where they are both on the plane. Oh my God, yeah. It's got the same feel. It really does have the same feel as The Graduate. And I don't think that's accidental. I really don't. Because anybody who's seen The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman, that scene at the end where they let the camera keep going, and you see them, they're all like happy. They got on the bus, they got away from the wedding, they escaped. She escaped marrying the wrong guy. And they're sitting in the back of that bus, her in her wedding dress, and him in his torn clothes, and they're like laughing and giggling. And then after a few moments, the camera just keeps going, and their faces go stolid. It's like nothing.
Yeah, now what?
Now what? Exactly.
Yeah.
And this film this is my favorite line in the film. What he says to him here, because the dad just keeps denigrating him and just speaking down to him. And he says, yeah, well, sir, you're going to be here and I'm going to be with her.
In England. I love what she does because the dad, when he wants her to break up with him, he gives her a pen and says, give him a pen, he'll be fine. And she's not cool with that.
Well, when he says the line, he says, "Yeah, well, I'm the distraction. It's going to be with her in England, or it's going with her to England," and that hits him hard, the dad, and he deserves it.
And you can tell he's really dyeing his hair because in that scene, the brown isn't really that brown. It begins to kind of starts to go into gray. So yeah.
Well, the stress.
And then you wonder: is it the character that's been dyeing his hair?
Yeah.
Because now he
That's a good
can't. He's in
possibility.
prison. Yeah.
He's in prison. But I do
So he
like it.
thinks
She
that
refuses to see him, but then she comes in behind Cusack's character, and he has the decency to get up and walk away. And let
But then
them have
she
their
gives her
privacy.
dad the fucking pen and says, "Write to me."
Oh, I
So
love
she's
that.
giving him a chance, but also letting him know
There's
this is
so
my life.
much irony in this scene.
Yeah.
All the chickens come home to roost in one big scene. Yeah, Bush says, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I'm a fuck your daughter."
Yeah, I was thinking the same
He
thing.
already did. He already did in that car.
While you're in here getting treated like a bitch, I'm going to be treating your daughter that way.
Disavowed.
Disavowed. I'm not interested in this movie at all. Terrible idea.
What, the new Karate Kid? Yeah.
Not interested. Not interested.
It's
I'm
weird
not even going to watch the final season because I heard that they monkeyed with it a lot and people were very disappointed with the ending. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I felt something going into this that this is going to be a bad season.
I don't remember which scene I kind of left that show. I think it's the one where they united both the Cobra Kai's. Yeah, the both dojos were kind of united. And after that, I've like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm out. I think you've pushed it as far as you go because I enjoyed it up to that last season. But this final season, just not interested in it. I do like this scene because she's made her choices. She's showing she's an adult now. You know, one of my favorite bands, Sander, was Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
What?
Fucking badass band. They did
Somebody needs their band then.
they did big band jazz. They're called the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Yeah. What's really funny is the first time I heard the name, I didn't catch what it meant. And then I was sitting there and went, oh my God. Oh.
Oh.
I just realized how naughty that is. And how many times have I said that and not realized what that meant?
I think Anima caught it right on the first go. And you didn't.
She's got a filthy mind.
I'm with you. Even if I wouldn't have one, I would have one by now after 2.5 years. But you didn't have to ruin me. I came like that.
Yeah, I like Cobra Kai up to the previous season. And I watched it all the way to the end. And I'm like, I'm treating that like the end. I don't need to see anymore. I love this hat on her. Hats like that are so cute on girls. Zoe used to wear hats like that all the time.
Now
She's
into
terrified of
wool.
flying. She's terrified of flying.
I don't think she
And
ever.
he's holding her hand and talking her through it. I like the old lady looks over and smiles at him. Or is it the old guy? I just remember someone turns and looks at him and smiles. Oh, it's that old lady. That one right there. And it just goes fades to black.
You've seen all that's important.
And somebody said they died at liftoff. Now, all you got to do is, he says, most accidents happen in the first 5 minutes or last 5 minutes of a flight. He says, so all you got to do is wait for that light to come on. Just wait. Just keep waiting. And they're watching that light. And then it goes to black, and then you hear the bing.
Yeah, the fast seatbelt and no smoking. or
Yep.
something like that. Fasten seatbelt goes
Back
off.
when they had smoking on flights.
Yeah.
I used to
I
hate
Back in
remember
that.
the 80s when they didn't give a shit if you gave someone else cancer.
Yeah, my first flight was in 87.
Mine was
I think.
Mine was 1994, circa 1994, maybe 1995, and they had the back of the plane was for smoking, and the front of the plane was not. However, it's a metal tube in the sky. I hated that the smoking thing. I hated it so much. I know that smokers was like, oh, I can't smoke in a restaurant, I can't smoke in bars, I can't smoke in blah 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 blah. To me, it's like it's a godsend because I
you're
don't mind
polluting
other
other
people
people's air.
smoking.
It's
I don't mind-
you're polluting someone else's air though. And in a place like that you're paying to be in, you should have the right to not have your air polluted by somebody else.
I hate the smell of cigarettes. I like the smell of tobacco. I
Ditto.
hate the smell of cigarettes.
Once
Now,
you start
what I
burning
love
it,
the smell of, I love the smell of tobacco, raw tobacco,
yeah.
in the package. Because I like pipe tobacco and I like cigars, and but even with cigars, after a little bit, I dislike that smell. But I love the smell of pipe tobacco, even when it's burning. It smells so good, like someone baking tobacco.
Pipe
Pipes are
tobacco.
okay.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Mama just said pipes are okay, but they burn.
Pipe tobacco is my grandfather's smell. It's
Yeah.
the only thing that reminds me of my grandfather.
My
And
favorite
I
was cherry tobacco.
barely remember him because he died when I was like 3.
Cherry tobacco is still my favorite tobacco. It's laced with cherry, and so it's got that aroma of it. And cigars, as far as cigar goes, I like a brandy dipped cigar. It just tastes good when you're smoking it. But anyway, I had it on a fucking one already. The Cherry Poppin' Daddies, I've been trying to get to this for a few minutes. We're a callback to the 30s big band music. That's what I was talking about, big band music. Absolutely. And I love their kind of style. It's a mixture of big band and rockabilly. And the dude that used to be with the Stray Cats went and did the same thing. He broke up the Stray Cats and went and did a big band. And I forget his name, something Seltzer in his orchestra. And
Alka?
Yeah, Alka Seltzer. Thanks, Math.
It's a Bart Simpson joke. Are you kidding me?
Okay, when I first thought you wrote vagina. I'm like, what did I just read?
Jesus Christ.
No smoke.
Talking about
golden
dirty minds.
vagina? Well, it's tiny, and I'm trying to make out what I'm reading, and
It's tiny, and I'm old, so I can't read it.
I hate the smell of pot. I got so angry when Zoe and I went to Los Angeles. We were invited to a movie premiere at the old Academy Award Theater, and they flew us in, and it was the guys from Black Rifle Company, because I used to be friends with those guys, and so we went there, and it was kind of fun, you know. We went to the beach the next morning, and went all the way up and down the beach trying to find a good spot. You can't get away from the smell of weed. You go to the ocean to smell the ocean. I don't want to smell someone's ganja, and that's all you smell on those beaches now is weed.
Gross.
It's so skunky and gross, and it just pissed me off. Yeah, there we go. See, that's what I thought it said. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Jeebus. Oh yeah, the world's most overrated coffee. It's the one that the cats eat the beans and then they shit them out, and then people make coffee from that. And it's just crazy expensive and not that special.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I was in barista school. I tried it. It's just coffee.
Same. I didn't try it, but I heard about it, and then I watched it in a movie, and it made me laugh so much.
What?
Well, I was
you seen
curious,
it?
and when I had the chance to try it and not pay for it, I was like, okay, why not? I mean, they roast the beans, so it's not gross anymore. It's coffee. That's it.
Yeah,
It's just coffee.
it
Yeah.
still
I had
came out of an
really good-
animal's ass.
Yeah, but-
It still came out of an animal's ass. So yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, I would never.
Even if you don't know, and you're like, oh, why is this coffee like $100 a gram or something?
something
And
like that.
and what's so special? And you drink it, and it's like it's good coffee, but it's like okay, I guess. And if I gave you two different coffees in the cup, okay, you don't know where they're coming from. One was a good, like solid Arabian roast, and one is Kopi Luwak. You could not tell the difference at all.
No, there's nothing
And
special to that coffee except for the price.
There's it's not like wine. When I give you a bad wine and I give you a good wine, you might be able to tell if you're a lay person. Okay, lay person, you might be able to tell which one is the bad wine, which one is the good wine. In that coffee, there is no way you could tell. No way.
So I've been to a few rock concerts. I didn't smell any weed. I even went to 3 times to see Pink Floyd in concert, and no weed. But everybody around me was high as fuck.
Dude,
Yeah, 'cause Pink Floyd is LSD,
every
not
single
weed.
concert. Well, except for the one with Placido Domingo, but any popular music or rock concert that I have go to here in Mexico, yeah, you can see the smokes, the clouds,
Yeah,
hanging over.
I remember people are so fucking high. The first time I went to see Pink Floyd in concert, and I love going to their concerts, by the way, great show. The minute the fucking giant pig starts to come down on the wire, I'm watching this for the first time live, and people around me are going, oh, pointing, and I'm like, I am in the wrong fucking concert. I was just like, I felt like a milk bucket under a bull. I'm like, fuck, I'm in the wrong place.
Well, you could never catch me dead at a Pink Floyd concert.
What?
I ain't paying 1 cent to that motherfucker Waters. 1.
Oh, Waters wasn't there when I went. This after
Doesn't
Waters
matter.
left.
Doesn't matter.
Because
I'm not paying 1 cent. Plus, Pink Floyd was never a band that I wanted to go to a live concert to. I don't like live concert like regardless, because I prefer to listen to the song as it was
originally
put into studio. I kind of hate when they riff, but the only show that I've been to that almost did 1-to-1 was No Doubt. And that was a treat because somebody treated me to a ticket. Somebody I was working with, and generally speaking, wanted to get into her pants. But she treated me to a ticket. And we went, and it was a great show. And they basically did whatever you heard on the album, you heard on stage. And turns out she was a lesbian.
Oh, damn.
Damn it.
Well, I hate live concerts because I hate the screaming that the fans do.
Well,
when
when you go to certain rock bands, they don't do that. Like back in the 80s, man, it wasn't so bad. I went to see Peter Gabriel back in the day. Not to mention, I went to see some other great rock bands. BOC, Blue Oyster Cult. I went to see Bachman Turner Overdrive. Went to see Billy Joel. Went to see post David. What's his?
David
Van
Lee
Halen.
Roth?
Yeah, post David Lee Roth Van Halen with Sammy Hagar, and it was a fucking good show. They didn't do Jump. but I didn't care. They did some great songs. It was a great show. I got to tell you, Bachman Turner Overdrive was a great concert. Billy Joel was really good too. And back in the 80s, the screaming was really to a minimum. It's gotten worse, in my opinion, today. That people feel like they need to be heard over the band, which is weird.
Well, thankfully, I haven't had that problem yet.
What problem?
The screamings in concert. All the concert I have been here, the public has been awesome, except for the weed
Well,
thing.
Europe used to be a lot better at live concerts. Now they're terrible. Europe used to just hold their fucking mouth. They would do some clapping, just a little bit. They weren't fucking outrageous about it. There'd be some clapping between songs, but they didn't want to interfere with the song. And but go look at a concert now in Europe, and it's fucking totally different. They learned from the Americans to be rowdy, and it's just fucking annoying.
Oh, monkeys firing shots here.
Firing at what? I don't see it.
That's it.
He's just throwing poop like always.
Yeah.
He just wants reactions.
Yeah, it's you're getting the poop on your
Exactly.
fingers, monkey. It's not working. I never liked concerts. Too many people are stupid.
Too many people are too loud.
I also think that it's where you're sitting. I like to be upper deck center.
More poop on your fingers there, Gary.
More poop on your fingers. I like being upper deck center and great audio, and you don't hear so much from the idiots down below. Oh man, Genesis. Yeah, you get a lot of they either smell like weed or patchouli.
Or both. I don't know. Never been to a Genesis
Hi,
concert.
Mikey.
Never been to a Kiss concert.
Wow.
Never been to a Metallica concert.
First
Couldn't
concert I
get
went to was
tickets.
Kiss.
I've only been to one
First
concert ever as a
Concert I
teenager.
ever went to, and I was wearing my white waiter jacket, and we were fourth row back with Mark Maxfield and his brother Rick, and I got covered with fake blood and ruined my jacket, and I got so pissed.
I've been to a Michael Jackson concert in the Dangerous tour, where I think one of the last stops he did was here. And then when he got back to the States, ended the tour, that's where the first issues with the kid popped out. But was a great fucking show. I
That
actually
happened
watched
while I was in the army when that shit started.
I actually watched two shows. One was Michael Jackson. The other one was Madonna in her, I think it was the erotic tour. I think, not sure. The one where she had a semi-naked chick on stage.
That sounds.
It was both in the same year, the Dangerous tour and the erotic tour.
It was not Falco, Mike. It was Bon Jovi. I've never seen Falco live, unfortunately. And of that
By the
Bon Jovi
way, I
concert,
don't
I had
count
like 15 minutes, and then I ended up in the first aid tent because I passed out, because crowds are not for me. So that taught me a lesson.
All right, so I don't consider it a concert. It was a live show on campus, and it was a bar, big bar, but it was a bar. And I would see Bruce Hornsby in the Range live because you're from the area in Virginia, where I was at when I was in fake college down in Williamsburg. So, but I'm going to say our goodbyes now because it's time to wrap up. Let's see. Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs was here. Good friend Courtney. Penny, Joe's Atmosphere, Das Wolfen, aka John, Andy Marrow, as in bone marrow, D. Bud Martin, Bush McFadden, Bill Barkley, Slasher Fred, Zax, and
Twice.
another Zax. Yep, I said it twice, so I saw. Sander Hammerschlag, Gory Tiger, new. I hope you subscribed and follow us so you can join us for other movies. Gory Tiger, Eastland Burkholder, FKHC 2005, aka Tim, Monkey Jeebus, or what is he today?
It's Shiba Inu made like
Shiba
the
Inu
thing.
Jeebus, yeah. Shiba Inu thing Jeebus. There we go. And then, of course, my buddy Mike, the Comic Relief Crusader. I want to thank Mephisto for hanging out with us, man. I appreciate it, buddy. It's fun. It's always fun hanging out with you.
Always.
Enema, it's okay hanging out with you. He would
Kick
smack
his
me
ass
so
when he
hard.
get back to the States.
She would so smack me right now if she was here.
She's like, fuck
I
you,
can't
bitch.
wait. And it'll be on camera too, because as long as we live in that place, I'll have to be next to him. We can't stream from 2 computers. So I
yeah.
will smack the shit out of him. I promise, guys. He's not
Gary,
getting away with this.
Gary,
Anima-
invest in a better internet.
Anima, remind me to send you this one so you can use it to him from time to
Yes,
time.
please. I mean, I can
Fantastic.
pop on camera and do it in person, but
Bush, thanks for being here, buddy. And I want to double thank D-Bud for also being an awesome wrench.
Yeah, he's been
Really
awesome to
appreciate
me
it.
all the time, man.
Yeah, man.
I love D-Bud. I
Thanks
mean,
a
I
lot,
don't know
man.
who he is, but I love him.
I wish you would
And I
join
wanna
us
thank-
for some of the shows. That would be
I
fun.
want to thank Martin. And for those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the show, I'll play this video for you now.
And now a word from our sponsor, Gary's Wholesale Sausage Emporium. Are retail hot dog prices making you crazy? Come on down to Gary's for all your discount dog needs. Was this really the best we could do?
Blue Apron passed.
Okay, let's get vulnerable, Langley. Let's get sexy. First caller gets 11 feet of Gary's signature summer sausage.
First caller.
11 feet. Damn.
Oh,
It's only 2 inches, but I throw it like it's a foot.
Jesus Christ. Somebody end
All right,
this.
man. We're out of here. Have a great Friday. Don't forget later, John will be on playing some more video games, getting his ass handed to him. You don't want to miss that. It's always fun. And also, don't forget to support some of our friends, Channel Midnight's Edge. And of course, the Doomcock himself, the Cockmeister. Don't forget he's on tonight with Friday Night Tights. It's always going to be fun. Him and karaoke.
Doomcock is
displays, man.
Doomcock is on with Friday Night Tights?
Is that the one he does? Oh no, Friday Night Frolics. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Friday Night Frolics.
Yeah. Those guys do not hang out with each other.
No, not
at
anymore.
all.
Not since people.
People
stepped on
went
each other's
dra-
fucking dicks.
Drama time crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they went total drama. And I dropped out of watching them. I'm not interested. I follow Doomcock. I love the guy. So I've actually hung out with him. So he's a really cool dude. So anyway, we're gonna fuck off. Everybody have a great Friday. We'll see you tomorrow. We are going to be doing Twista. So that's with the late Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt when she was actually kind of pretty. Kind of.
In a weird way, I think she's good looking. Interesting.
She's
She's really beautiful in a weird way.
No, she's just not the standard Hollywood beauty face, and I enjoy that because they all look alike. They all look the same.
What's really funny is she had the boob job, and she did that right before she did the movie with Nicholson, As Good as It Gets, and so she wanted to stand out better, and apparently she did. So that's it, guys. We're the fuck out of here. See you, Halifax. Oh, thanks for dropping in, man. Everybody, thanks for being here. We'll see you all tomorrow for Twista.
Bye.
Did I
And
cut
now
you off,
before
Matt?
that, you can step into my show and watch Back to the Future.
That's all, folks.
Y'all come back now. You hear?